Hello there, Internet. My name is Mogwai, and ahead of us lies yet another brilliant day in the arena. As today, we're going to bring back NISSA. I say bring back, I'm talking about myself mostly. I'm going down memory lane, and I'm going to venture into, perhaps out of all the Planeswalker characters and all the cards in the game, there has not been a card that has haunted me more than NISSA Shaper of Worlds. I don't know if you remember this. For those of you guys who are veteran Magic players, NISSA Shaper of Worlds was a 5-mana Planeswalker that I think was one of the most broken cards in Magic the Gathering from my time period, from when I was playing. Like, that card is the one that I remember the most. I still have nightmares about it. And when I got back at the Standard, I was like, well, NISSA is still at it. Like, I wonder if she's, anywhere near as good as that, her Planeswalker form back in the day. And yeah, she did not disappoint. NISSA is still disgusting. That is why I named this deck this way. But still very compelling and very fun to play, because this archetype is extremely unique. And unfortunately, though a lot of you watching are probably like, what do you mean unfortunately? Good riddance, right? But for me, unfortunately, it will be rotating by August. This deck will be rotating because a bunch of the lands that you see here are actually going to be rotating. They're from the Streets of Capina, which is one of the sets that's going to rotate in August. So there's little time left for this deck to be standard viable, and I wanted to get my hands on it before that was the case and make a video about it, because I think this is a really cool concept. It's just a really cool archetype, and I wanted to show you guys my take on NISSA Land Control Temur Edition, because there are several different takes on it. You can go for different color combinations, but I personally really like Temur. I take a lot of the same foundation that I took for the Jeskai deck with Lila. I have applied here. We're running Brotherhood's End as a full set, and we're running 2 copies of Ill-Time Explosion alongside 3 copies of Memory Deluge. This is probably very familiar to a lot of you, as these are 3 cards that I was playing in the combo burn deck that I uploaded a few days back. But this time around, it's more for the control, the AoE board clears that we really need in order to stay alive so that we can really pop off. How does this deck function? Because as you guys can see, I have a bunch of basic lands. I take different arts for this one because this is such a land-centric deck that I wanted to have like different views for every single land, right? It's just kind of like makes this like stretch out way too much. So I honestly regret it, but hopefully you guys don't mind. This deck is built around NISSA Resurgent Animist. And for those of you who are new to the game, I'm going to try to do my best to explain how this deck works. Trust me, it's really interesting. It's very compelling, and it's in my opinion, it's really cool. But there are different perspectives on it. NISSA Resurgent Animist is a 3-mana legendary elf scout creature as a 3/3. Interesting to see some planeswalkers become creatures within these latest sets. That's something that really did not happen before. Like, there wasn't a Teferi creature, there wasn't a NISSA creature, there wasn't a Chandra creature, there wasn't a Vraska creature, and that is definitely changing. They're mixing it up a little bit more. This is a creature version of NISSA, and she has the Landfall ability. The Landfall is, as it says there, it's a keyword. It says this ability triggers whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, Landfall, and add 1 mana of any color. Every single time a land is developed onto the board, we get 1 mana, and we can generate whatever color we want. Then, if this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, you can reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an elf or elemental card. You put that card into your hand, and then put the rest in the bottom of the library in any order. So this ability is important because we can search for the likes of Aftermath Analyst, which is a fundamental creature for this archetype. But at first you're like, okay, so NISSA, all right, when you play lands, you get an extra mana. Like, what does that lead to? Like, how do we capitalize on that? We are playing a bunch of basic lands for the sole reason that we're running these, I don't know how to call these lands. I call them the suicide lands. The bomb lands. Basically, these lands self-immolate, right, upon entry. Let's read, for example, the Broker's Hideout. When Broker's Hideout enters the battlefield, you sacrifice it. When you do, you search your library for a basic forest, plains, or island card put it onto the battlefield tap, and then shuffle, and you gain 1 life. The 1 life gain is really neat, especially against decks like Mono-Red aggro. So this land comes in, it blows up, and then you get to search either, in this case, a forest or an island in this deck. We have Broker's Hideout, which allows it to search for forest or island. Cabaretti Courtyard allows it to search for either forest or mountain. Maestro's Theater allows it to search for island or mountain. And the Riveteer's Overlook allows it to search for either forest or mountain. So we have, between these different variants of lands, we chose the ones that allow us to search for either green, red, or blue. And we have a one-off of Echoing Deeps because this card is a cave that can convert into any land in our graveyard. And we actually are going to be milling a lot. Not only do these cards like automatically fill up our graveyard with lands because they are lands and they blow up upon entry, so we can copy them with this. We can also potentially copy like a regular land with this as well because there is a lot of self-mill in this deck. And the main cause of that is the Aftermath Analyst. When Aftermath Analyst enters the battlefield, you get to mill 3 cards. And then as I pay 4 mana and sacrifice the Aftermath Analyst, I get to return all land cards from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. This is when things get crazy. Because if you have a few of these bomb lands, right, in the graveyard, and you have NISSA on the board, if you're able to sacrifice the Analyst and bring back all these lands onto the board, they will all trigger NISSA. And all of a sudden, having all these come back and then blow up to search for another land allows us to, for each individual land, trigger NISSA twice. This gives us so much mana to work with that all of these spells that seem really expensive all of a sudden feel like nothing, right? And the core objective of this deck is to put ourselves in a position so that we can play the Virtue of Strength. This is like the green version of the Virtue of Persistence from Black. Virtue of Strength is a 7 mana enchantment that says if you tap a basic land for mana, it produces 3 times as much that mana instead. We have here a deck that just generates so much, way more mana than anything else in the meta. And the way we make use of that, once we have stabilized, is we quite simply one-shot them. We use all that mana to play the World Soul's Rage, and that allows us to deal X damage to any target, where X is the amount of mana paid besides the red and green resource that it requires. So if I have, like, let's say I have 22 lands, I can tap them all, and I can deal 20 damage to the opponent. With Virtue of Strength, every single one of our lands will tap for 3 mana, so we can just very easily skyrocket with this. We can also use this card in the middle of the game to actually ramp as well. Like, we can pay 5 mana to deal 3 damage to something, and then we get to search for 3 lands and bring him onto the battlefield, right? And we can bring some of these lands and then proc them again and allow, like, there's a lot of combos that really allow us to just make use of this landfall. But NISSA is not the only landfall unit in this deck. I've also brought it upon myself to bring in Bristy Bill, the Spinesaur. I really like this card as an alternate win condition. Some games you can't really, you're missing some pieces, and being able to find this and just like get, basically with this guy on the board, every time a land enters the battlefield under control, we put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And then for paying 5 mana, we get to double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature we control. So this, alongside like a NISSA, is an alternative win condition that can allow us to just skyrocket these 2 units with a bunch of +1/+1 counters. They become massive, and we just beat down our opponent with them. So we can just blow them back with a World Soul's Rage, but we can also build a crazy board with Bristy Bill, or we could just copy a bunch of our opponent's stuff with Doppelgang. For each of X target permanent, create X tokens that are copies of that permanent. So the more mana that we spend on this, the more we up that X number, the more permanents we'll be able to copy, and then more copies of those individual permanents that we copied. So this is exponential. This grows exponentially, and it is absolutely crazy, but it is generally a very hard spell to play because it's so expensive to get the proper value out of this. But if there's a deck that can do it, it's this one right here. ultimate greed is what this deck is all about. Spelunking is a very key enchantment in this deck specifically because it allows it says like the very last line of this. Not only does this allows us to cycle through our deck and ramp effectively, but also lands you control enter the battlefield untapped. So every time we play these, the basic land that's pulling out of our deck is supposed to enter tapped, but with Spelunking, we're able to play it untapped, which just allows us to go crazy with NISSA. There's a certain point in the match when we get to pop off and drop that Virtuous Strength and just generate so much mana that the opponent is just fundamentally doomed, and that's what this deck is about. I like Seize and Desist as a one-off because there are some artifact matchups and some clunky matchups in which Desist can just completely wipe them out. Even if we destroy our own Spelunking enchantment, is still worth. Otherwise, Seize can also help us disrupt a play that interacts with the graveyard as well. I really like it as a one-off. It also gives us a very expensive card to potentially discard with Ill-Timed Explosion to go for a stronger board wipe. And of course, we got the Memory Deluges to make sure that we can keep drawing. The flashbacks on mana is actually really easy for this deck to achieve. And that way we always are able to cycle through our deck and make sure we don't run out of gas so we can make use of the obscene amounts of mana that we generate. And that's what the deck is. Land control. Landfall control. Very, very different from the decks that I've showcased up until now. But I really wanted to showcase this archetype because I really want to highlight just how many different playstyles exist within Magic the Gathering. And I really like this deck. I think it's very neat. And as a returning player, I really enjoyed diving into it. So hopefully you guys enjoy it too. I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for daily Magic the Gathering content. Hope you enjoyed today's games. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, here we go. Let's embrace degeneracy. The deck was hiding from me right there. Don't judge me for this. I don't know why decks like these get such bad rep. Like, it's so fun. I love it. Let's play some NISSA. Let's play some land tribal. We got the Aftermath Analyst. We got Spelunking as well. And a board wipe with Brotherhood's End. This hand is ideal. Even if we're facing an aggressive deck. Okay, I'm gonna drop the Riveteer's Overlook because we want to be filling that graveyard with lands. And I'm gonna get myself a mountain actually. Because we do have that Brotherhood's End right there. We have Spelunking into that too, which is really nice. I could play the Analyst on curve, and I think I will. We mill 3 cards upon entry. He could be removed here. Like, maybe I could have held on to him since the removal was so obvious that was happening. But them having a cut down allows them to answer it really easily. We get some lands in the graveyard. Very nice. It's GRIXIS. It's GRIXIS with the Corpse Appraiser. Okay, so they get to draw and mill there. Okay, interesting. It's only when he enters the battlefield. So now this unit is not as relevant now. I'm saying this because what I can do is I can Spelunking into Echoing Deeps, because Echoing Deeps is a cave which will trigger my Spelunking, and I'm gonna copy one of these. And I'm gonna get another forest. I mean, let me check for a second. I can get an island with you. And then I can play Virtue of Strength. And I can get myself the Echoing Deeps again. Getting our health up to 26. And we're building up for that Virtue of Strength. We are a slow-paced deck. We need to take our time. As Spelunking, like, I really like the one-off of Echoing Deeps because of that. Because it's a cave and it synergizes with this. Gives us a little bit of extra health. That can be really important in aggressive matchups. They Surveil. Hit us with the Corpse Appraiser. They still have 3 mana open. There could be some counter spells there. Liliana.
I'm tired of your secrets.
I'm gonna drop the mountain here. And I think at this point I'm gonna clear a little bit.
You know, I think you'd look better as a corpse.
And I'm gonna trigger this. To get an island. I think I want to hold on to this virtue. I mean, no, because they could have some more discard, so I actually don't want that. I want to make sure that this is not discardable. So I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to return that land over there.
Drop it.
And I'm going to discard again as they discard. Like, this effect of Liliana we can handle. Now that our virtue of strength are exiled, they're not vulnerable to their discard. Okay.
Wanna be tyrants?
Man, another Brotherhood's End would be amazing here. And I can become an island. I'm gonna end my turn. Drawing that Memory Deluge is huge. But the cavern, the Echoing Deeps was amazing there. They have Kaito who keeps drawing them a card here. And there's another. I'm gonna go for the Memory Deluge. I'm gonna go for Memory Deluge. I'm gonna get you.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
And now I'm gonna go for the one World Soul Rage. They could have a counter spell here. Yikes.
Sometimes the only move is to sit and watch.
Don't overthink things.
That counter spell is really strong there. I have to try to keep going for these World Soul Rages though. They're tapped out. And they make me mill another Memory Deluge. That's completely fine. That's huge.
I've got the upper hand now. Phyrexia has minions, but I have friends.
Cool story, bro. I gotta get rid of that Liliana. I gotta play this. I have 1, 2. I have 5. Get rid of this thing. And now I get to do this. Boom, boom. Island. Island. You. Okay, so this will search a forest or island, forest or island, forest or mountain. Forest or mountain. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can search for 3. That's 1 island, 1 mountain. I can get you. I'm gonna do it like this. I don't know if I have enough, but.
Oh, that's my cue to leave.
But this will gain me a lot of life. And allow me to. I probably could have used more red. Yeah, I did it wrong. But I healed quite a bit here, as you guys can see. And I have these virtue of strength. Which are going to allow me to go bananas here.
I've got a good feeling about this.
All right. I like that confidence, guy. Okay, sure. Okay, so Ob Nixla is the adversary.
1,000 years. Buy my coin a new.
Gets to essentially wear me down.
Plead for mercy.
Oh my goodness, this Brotherhood's End. Virtue of Strength. If you tap a basic land for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to just tap one of these, and I have 3. So I can Brotherhood's End. Get rid of 2 of those.
Oh, you're quite the new. No one.
At least I learned a lot.
I could have played another Virtue of Strength, but I really, I'm not sure actually. Can I afford it? If I tap 3, 6, 9, and then this one will tap for. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how it works. I'm gonna try. And I'll get the card draw, thank you. Yes. Oh yeah. Whoa, just lands? Okay. I can get a mountain card here. Because I know there's a mountain left. And you see how we've thinned the deck out of so much, and now with these 2 Virtue of Strengths, like we can just do whatever we want.
Pleasure doing business.
With the memory delusions, we just draw, and all we to do is just, God, we can handle anything at this point. This is the power of this deck. It's a control deck. It's about getting to a point where we just generate so much mana that the sky's the limit. And we got the greedy spells to back it up too. Even though we used 2 copies of them early on, but that's why that spell should be a 3 of. All right, round 2. Bloodsport. Bring it. Okay. Is this a mulligan or is this a keep? I mean, we have ill-timed explosion to wipe them out. Potentially. So I am gonna keep this. But if it's mono, oof, it's mono-red. Oh, there it is. Okay. This can search us for a mountain. So I'm gonna drop the River Tears Overlook, and I'm gonna get a mountain, so I can enable Brotherhood's End. For this deck, I like having like different arts for the lands. So mono-red aggro can definitely be very, but the fact that we're healing with these lands is really neat. It does matter. Whoa, they kept a 1-lander? Don't do that. Don't do that, kids. I'm gonna get a forest in there. Go back to 20. Mono red, yeah, but a lot of times that happens. Like they keep a 1-lander and then it seems like, oh no, the game is over, but no, like mono red just needs 2 lands and then it just pops off. I am gonna deal with that though. Not even gonna mess around with that. Clear their board. If you can, just clear their board. That's a threat. There's Godric. There's Godric, and ladies and gentlemen, ill-timed explosion. Now, spelunking is neat, but I think we're getting rid of it, and we're getting rid of one of these as well. Because by discarding that 3-cost enchantment, I'm able to clear the Godric. As another Godric goes down, hits us again. But now we have enough mana. NISSA. Can we afford... Okay, so if we play NISSA, we play you, boom, boom. We have 3 mana. I kind of feel like I want to use the World Soul's Rage because I have enough to deal 3 damage. And this is huge because now I can get these 3. Look at that. Gain 3 life. And ramp like crazy. What are we missing? I mean, let's get Forest. And then let's if we have a chance, let's get blue. But let's get mountain here, and this should be an island. Beautiful. Going up to 16 health. Feels good, man. We're at 8 mana. There's the face down card. That's just desperate, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to play NISSA. Resurgent and Animist. And now I'm going to play the Broker's Hideout. Watch. The Broker's Hideout enters. We get a Forest. NISSA's ability triggers. We get a green mana and another green mana, so we can play the Analyst that we just drew. We've given them less information. Because she drew, that's how NISSA works, right? Like the second proc of each turn, we get to pick up an elf. And we found the elf detective here. And now I'm able to activate this ability. Send to the graveyard and bring back all of these lands, baby. Get all that health back, which Mono Red hates to see. And we're gonna go blue. Forest here. Red. Island. Red. Green. Green value. Blue value. Green. Blue. Blue. Ill-timed explosion. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard one of the analysts and you. Because that way we'll clear with the face down card. But NISSA will survive. And now it's time for Bill. Probably should not have played the analyst there. It's kind of like going wide. If Bill can go by without us, like, I should not play this analyst. Down goes the slow. But look at that, we're at 21 health again, and they're just like, this is so weak. At this point, this is so weak. Just don't kill my Bill. Don't kill Bill. Don't kill Bill. Yeah, no, very impressive. Wow, 9 wow, wow, amazing, amazing. My turn. Just look at all the effects that we're triggering. Boom. 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 And that's only round 1, baby. Actually, we have no more basic lands. Okay, we do have an island. Unfortunately, we just have no mana to capitalize on this. But we can drop him down to 8. And I mean, we're at 17. We're at 17. I know this is an unanswered slick shot. but we should be okay. Wait, you're attacking with both? Just don't think. That's mono. You know, like this triggers me a little bit, man, because like I actually ran out of gas. I was actually vulnerable there. I was dependent on my top deck. The good news is that basically the vast majority of my lands had been milled, like had been, you know, thinned out of the deck. So the odds of me top decking the land were like minimal there. But I could have drawn into something that just was not useful. I could have drawn into another copy of NISSA or another copy of Bill or like something that just would not really quite do it, right? And all of a sudden they have like all this damage that they can just push. Like I'm out of steam, but they in standard like mono red fashion, they're just like, no, face, go most damage face, and they literally lost because of that. Even though mono red aggro is some people call it like, oh, brain dead or this or that, it actually does require a brain to play. And I think this game is a good example of that. So, no offense. I'm just saying, like, that's just not it. Like, they literally threw there. But I'll take it. Round 3. Against Amelia. We got a couple of these lands to start off with. We got a board wipe. The Virtue of Strength. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We keep this. We need some sources of red, though. Mountain, forest, or red. So let's lead off with you, because right now we are lacking a source of red. So I'm gonna play the Cabaret Courtyard. I'm gonna sack it, gain 1 life, and search for a mountain. We find another source of blue. I'm gonna go for a source of green. Maybe I should have gone for like a source of. Honestly, yeah, I think I misplayed here. I could have made it so I had 3 sources of red. If I let off and I search a forest, then I could use the Virtue of Strength to return that to my hand, and then play it again and then search for a mountain. Instead of like dropping 2 of these, you know what I mean? Like, I would have been able to actually get 2 sources of red if I needed. Right now, whenever enters the battlefield, okay, it has reach, but it's not doing much more than that. I don't want to play this NISSA on her own, but maybe I can afford to, because I do have the Virtue of Strength. So I'm going to develop NISSA. Resurgent Animist. Kind of like a must answer threat for my opponent. And definitely not a unit that we'll be engaging in combat with anytime soon. This Whip Cracker can have fun on its own. Assassin. An assassin deck. Oh. And are you an assassin? You're an insect assassin. So whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to the opponent, cloak the top card of that opponent's library. I have to let that happen. They get to cloak the top card and see and develop that there. And, let me see. If I play this, I have 5. I can deal 3 damage to something, and then spawn 3 of those, which can allow me to clear this board. So if I do this, and I generate a source of like red mana, and then I play this, the World Soul's Rage, and I go for 3, and I hit this. I don't find more, but I'm able to find those 2 anyways. And then what am I missing? I mean, red source of mana, certainly. Red source. You see, green source. Green source there. Red source here. Red source here. And then a green source here. And what we can do now is we can go for the Brotherhood's End and pick off this board. You see that? Math. And then we have that one extra green source to Garenbrig growth. That is a tongue twister for me. And 2 forests, 2 that. So forest plains, forest mountain. And that way I guarantee I have another land to drop. We kill our own NISSA. Laughing Jasper Flint. Shoutouts to yesterday's video. You're not gonna Omega Lol on me. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, wait. I need to math. Give me a moment. Give me a moment because this could be bananas. If I pay 3 for you, I have a total of 6 mana. 5. 9. 6, 9. I should have enough, right? 3 here, 2 there. I don't think I do, actually. If I play you and I mode you 2, I play you 3, 3. Oh, did I miscount this? I mean, it's fine. I can let that. So I get to do 2 of those, and there's like 3 and 5, which is just not enough to deal with that. So let's go blue. Let's go blue. So we generate that. Like not dealing. I misplayed here. I misplayed here because I could have dealt with Jasper easily with like a Brotherhood's End, but now I have to kind of like kill my own NISSA. So I'm going to clear that. It feels bad. Because I lost NISSA for a little reason there, but it also allowed me to... No, I should have let off with the... I derped there. I definitely derped there. But I don't want to give them any sort of juice here. And this is a unit that they have to deal with. Okay. But I mean, now we can afford this. But I kind of just want to go with the Analyst instead. And called it a turn. The Aftermath Analyst is huge here. Okay, when a creature dies, target player opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. That is the Vein Ripper. This is a dangerous unit. We're going to sack the Analyst before it enters the board so we don't pay the life. And we're going to bring back all of our lands back to the board, ladies and gentlemen. Gain all that health back. Mountain. Forest. Mountain. Island. Island. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. And we got this Virtuous Strength with the World Soul's Rage, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see the power of Virtuous Strength here. We have a total of 14 mana. Okay, so that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 15, 15, 18, 21. We cannot lethal them quite yet. So we just need to survive this turn. So I'm gonna tap you and you. And I'm gonna Memory Deluge. Memory Deluge into... I mean, yeah, it's over. It's so over. We just gotta survive 1 turn, and then when we untap, we have a million mana, and then we just spend it all to World Soul's Rage into face, and we one-shot them, regardless of how healthy they are. That's the power of this deck. That's the inevitability of an archetype like NISSA. And I know probably a lot of you guys watching this, and those of you who've been playing Standard throughout all these years and, you know, are looking forward to rotation, are probably excited about this kind of archetype being rotated away. But as a newcomer, as a returning player, I found this, I just find it so fun. I really like it. All right. Asesora me. This is a mulligan. It seems like it isn't, but it is. And I'm going to drop one Spelunking. Because we want more lands like these. We don't want to draw that many, and we had a lot of like really expensive spells in hand, so it was going to be a very slow hand. And I'm really happy I mulligan because now this hand looks much better. We have to think though. We have a mountain. This can get us either an island or a mountain. This can get us either a forest or a mountain. We need a forest before anything. So let's go with the Cabaretti Courtyard, and let's get that forest. Let's get that green. GRUUL, but ramp. Okay, not an aggressive deck, but a ramp deck. Okay. For turn 2. I don't want to play the Aftermath Analyst until I can actually trigger it. So this turn, I'm actually going to do this again. This time I'm going to get an island, though, because we do have a source of red there. So I'm going to get a source of blue. Heal up a little bit. And now I'm going to put red, then I'm going to Spelunking. Spelunking as an enchantment is really important because now all my lands that enter the battlefield will enter untapped. And I'm going to get the Cabaretti Courtyard. Because we already have a forest in hand, I'm going to pick up an island. No, actually, no, sorry, a mountain. Having that second source of red is important for cards like Brotherhood's End. They seem to not be running blue, so I don't have to worry about counter spells as much. So if I play NISSA here, and then I develop a forest, what does it allow me to do? Right now, I just don't have the mana to capitalize on that. I'm going to play NISSA. But I'm going to keep the Analyst in hand. Because I don't want, like, this is my key card here. If NISSA can remain, okay, there's the Carnosaur, and they get the Stomper. It's a big boy Dino deck. It's a ramp Dino deck. The Stomper allows them to go crazy, but we're about to pop off as well. Oh boy, are we about to pop off. As we develop, we have to play U into U, so let's go with this. I'm going to generate a source of green, and then I'm going to play the Aftermath Analyst. I'm going to mill 3 cards from the top of my deck, and then I'm going to activate the ability for 4 mana. I'm going to send to the graveyard, and I'm going to bring back all these lands. They will all trigger NISSA, but then they'll also trigger her again as we search for other components here. We need more blue, that's for certain. And we also want to be generating blue because we may go for an ill-timed explosion. All right, let's see. Another, oh baby, another Analyst. Okay, never mind. We need green as well. Let's get a forest in there. Green. And let me take a look at the battlefield. 4 forests. Yeah, we definitely need more mountains. Green. Blue. Red. Red. Let's just distribute it like this for now. Let's play another Aftermath Analyst. As we mill even more cards. And now, let's trigger it again. Oh yeah. It never ends! Look at that. Look at that. Look. I can't even keep track of what's going on, man. It's so much. You're confused, bro. I have no idea what's going on, but I love it. I love everything about it. A little bit of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of more red, a little bit of blue. You know what I'm saying? There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus all this. Boy, if we hit that. 8 plus 5, 13. I can hit them for 11. I can hit them for 11 and then do that. So that's what I'm gonna do. 11. Where? Face. Math. I think I'm starting to run out of lands. You know, eventually you do hit that limit. Yep. And now, blue, red, blue. I can create, like, I can just doppelgang with this. Or I could play the ill time. I'm at 32 health. I should be fine. I'm gonna decline. Let's play this. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna tap that. And I'll bring back the analyst. And I'm gonna keep it in the back. I have 32 health. Like, I know they can burst on me this turn, but there's only so much they can do with 8 mana total. Jesus. No, but they have the spree. They can't, like... Okay. These have trample, so I'm just better off blocking into Calamity. Oh, look at that hit, though. Jesus Christ. From 32 to 14. But ladies and gentlemen, I knew I could survive. I knew I could survive, and that's all that matters here. Because now we have a total of 14, 15. We don't even need the Virtuous Strength, but I'm pretty sure the Virtuous Strength just makes us inherently more powerful. Six, 9, 12, 15, 15, 18, 21, 24, 24, 22. That's only creatures, not them. Let's see if my math is right. Let's see if my math is right. It is. Booyah. They gain 3 life. Oh, we got him! Boom! 0. I'm not lying. I was a little bit scared, like for a moment there. Oh, that was great, man. I had a great time. I love winning. Yeah. that was something else. I think I've had enough games. Yeah, we won every game. This deck is definitely meta for a reason. It feels really solid once it pops off, and you just gotta know how to pilot it. But as you guys can see, the game plan is that to build up the lands, and then just blow him back with one spell. I was a little bit concerned for a moment there because when I saw like the calamity into that dinosaur, like that is just some insane burst, and then I saw the terror of I forgot the 5-drop, like that really scary dragon, and I'm like, man, if they can chain another creature on top of this, they could deal direct damage to me, and I was just like, it was like a lot of mass, so I was just like, God, if I die here, like I would have kept it in the video 1,000% because it would have been like, you know, it's important to like learn about mistakes too. But I'm happy I didn't get punished there. I think my call was correct. I think all the health gain definitely put me in a safe position, at least for one turn. And yeah, I'm loving it, man. I just love being back on Magic the Gathering, man. This is exactly the kind of game that I needed in this stage of my life, and I'm so excited to just keep diving into it. Not every deck that I share is going to be top tier deck. Big loudest noise. Not every deck that I share is going to be a top tier deck. Not every deck that I share is going to be a completely new original deck. Like sometimes there are meta decks that I find that are really compelling, and I want to showcase my take on them as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, even if it was a lesser original list, right? That's, yeah, English. Love ya. Have a whole day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.